Hey guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So we're back with a Samira commentary guide. Now we've done two videos on Samira recently. Of course, Samira is the newest ADC, so obviously I'll be playing a lot of Samira because obviously it's new, and of course I want to get better at her. So the first one we talked a lot about her what her build should be, and in the second one we kind of updated her build to what I consider to be a better build, but in those videos, I was pretty much just explaining how she works, how you should play her, what you should build, etc. But I never really gone through how strong she really can be. So today in this video, we're gonna be showing you guys how hard Samira can carry in a, well, technically the title's a little bit clickbait. It's not exactly 1v9. It's sort of maybe like more closer to 2v9 because the Seraphine actually plays really well as well. But the other three people, the jungle, the top as well as the mid, don't really play very well. And I honestly don't really blame them all that much because the matchmaking in this match is pretty bad. Like, I'm in Master at the moment, and the top laner, the Darius, is actually in Emerald, and he's duo with the jungle who's in Plat. So I have a Plat Wukong as my jungle, and I'm in Master. So I don't really know what's going on with the matchmaking. I thought that they removed this sort of lopsided matchmaking a long time ago, but apparently not. So of course, the likelihood is that there's at least one other master player in the other team as well. So if let's say that is the jungle or something like that, I'm not surprised if Wukong doesn't have a good time because obviously he's way out of his league. Of course, no offense to any plat players, but of course, if for example I'm master and I find myself in like a challenger game or something like that, like a full challenger lobby, I'm gonna be in trouble as well. So yeah. So anyways, enough talk about the matchmaking. We're gonna talk about Samira and how she can carry in this game. So here you guys can already take a look the early game damage. Now she did get that buff on her melee attacks, as you guys can see. So her melee attacks do hurt a lot more. Now I said in the patch notes that it doesn't really make a difference, and honestly I felt that after like actually playing Samira, I felt that there has been a difference, although it isn't a huge difference, but I can feel like slightly more damage. So I guess that does help a lot. But what the difference that I can actually feel is the E. So the E did get buffed as well, and that one, the damage increase, you can sort of really feel it. So that one is a really good change for Samira. Now, I do think that she's actually in a really good spot in terms of how strong she is at the moment, but I think that it's just that people are really bad at playing her because she's a really high skill champion. So I think that because most people aren't too good at playing her yet, her win rate is really low, which is why they're buffing her, because they do buff and nerf according to win rate, in case you guys didn't know. So here I'm trying to maintain my stacks of my style because I'm about to hit level 5 really soon. So I do want to go in while they're level 4. So here you guys can see I'm stepping up. Very nice route by the Seraphine. Sets me up for the reset, and I hit my ult and I hit the exhaust onto the vein to prevent her from escaping out of my ult. We do see the Zed coming over for the roam, but we already get the kill on both of them. So now we're doing really well, 3-0 and 1. So now honestly, the most important part of Samira is to have a good support. Like, really, Samira is relatively useless in the early game. If you don't have a support who can CC for you, you are really not gonna do anything much. Like, no matter how good, you could be the best Samira in the world, but the best you could do if your support isn't good is to just try to survive and not die. You actually need a good support to set you up for kills, and it's really hard to kill people by yourself. So Samira, when you get to like maybe like 2 items or so, you can start doing things on your own without the help of your support. But for the early lane, there really isn't a lot you can do by yourself without your support actually being there to set you up for kills or set you up for good trades or engages, that kind of thing. So Seraphine here, at least she has CC on her E, so as you guys can see from the last double kill that we got, that does help set me up for the kills. However, if you're like with a enchanter that doesn't have CC, so think something like, let's say, a Sona, which doesn't have CC aside from an ult, or Soraka, who doesn't really have CC unless they get rooted, you cannot really do that much in the early game because it really is no setup for you. So all you can really do is to get to like your item breakpoints and hope you can get multi kills in team fights. Alright, so now we're getting ourselves fed. We have basically 100% KP of our team so far. The dragon is going to be spawning really soon, so we are of course going to get ready to go over there. We have already picked up the Bloodthirster, so we don't really need to back. We are also at full resources. Braum goes in right onto the root. Here I'm trying to get out my stacks, and here I get the kill onto the Braum, but of course Braum is kind of a hard counter to Samira because of his passive. Now it's not really as bad as some other champs, but Braum's passive does take 3 more attacks to activate, so you do have a little bit of buffer time, as you can see there. That's why I popped my W to prevent the passive from being popped before I kill the Braum. So that blocked Vayne's auto attack, which prevented myself from getting stunned, and after I get the kill on Braum, then I got stunned, which is kind of fine. I wasn't going to be able to kill Vayne anyways. Here Zed tries to engage onto Galio, but we do get the shutdown onto the Zed. Here I'm waiting because Vi has her Q charged up. Now that she used the Q, I can go in with my ultimate and wreak havoc. Here I should actually focus the Vayne first, which I do. I flash over to kill the Vayne, dash back over to the Dragon, auto attack for the kill. So I pick up a Quadra onto pretty much the whole enemy team except the cannon. And yeah, that was really good. So now I'm 8-0-1 at 5 minutes into the game. So as you guys can see, yeah, we're doing really well now. The only good thing about, not the only good thing, but the good thing about this so far is I'm really fed, but my team isn't really doing too bad at this very moment. Yes, Darius died once, Wukong died once, and I can't actually see how many times Galio died, but I do know that Galio has been feeding the Zed. So there is that. So now that we are super duper fed, now we can actually play really aggressive in lane, as you guys can see here. I'm going in with the ultimate and gonna get another kill onto the Braum. Now this Braum is a little bit inty because he kind of just jumps in randomly, and he thinks that he can tank the damage with his shield, but he really cannot. And plus I can actually get behind his shield with my E, so that doesn't really work too well for him as well. But either way, we pretty much just destroy him. 9-0-1. We're just getting ourselves more and more fed. Now the only caveat to this is that in the meantime the Zed is getting really fed as well. He's 4-1, and he's gonna eventually get to a point where he can one-shot me, and that is sort of the issue. So it just became a match of whether me or Zed could carry harder. And the issue is that I'm an ADC and he's an assassin, and we all know that the assassin like one-shots the ADC, which is sort of the issue here. But the good thing about Samira is she actually semi-counters Zed, because when Zed ults you, you can actually pop your W to prevent his shurikens from hitting you immediately after his ult. So when he's about to come out of the ult, you can actually W to try to destroy the incoming shurikens, which will overall reduce the damage he does to you with both the shurikens as well as the ultimate overall. Although you cannot block his E because his E is melee, it's not a projectile. So that is sort of a little bit of a saving grace. Now in this match, I have to be really careful. So you can see that I've learned how to play Samira like a lot better than what I did last time. And if you guys saw in the Dragon fight just now, I waited for Vi to use Q first. This match has a lot of CC. Vayne has a point and click condemn, which I really can't do too much about. Vi has a point and click ultimate. She has her Q as well for CC. Braum has his passive and he has his ultimate as well. And Cannon also has his passive. So there's an insane amount of CC in this team, but none of them are instant except Vayne, and the next closest is Vi, which both of them are point and click. So it is a little bit difficult for me in this particular match. So if you guys notice, I try to let as much CC go by as possible before I actually go in with the ult. I'm not actually just spamming all my abilities, getting up to S rank and going in with the ultimate, because that will not bode well for me. Here Vayne tries to push me away to stop me from getting the tower, but it doesn't actually matter because I do end up getting the entire tower anyways. So I'm at like almost 9k gold, which is obviously by far the most gold in the game. Zed is kind of catching up at 7k gold, but I'm still a good like 1.5k gold ahead of him, and no one else is really all that close to us after that. So here, Wukong decides to go in onto the Braum. Seraphine follows up, and I am able to get the kill. Here, I use my ultimate to actually finish off the kill onto the Vayne, and we are able to just get out pretty easily. Of course, Zed is the target that we actually want to get. So here take the fruit, I'm going back in. Here I see that Zed has actually shadowed, so I immediately turn onto the Zed because he doesn't have an escape anymore. But unfortunately for me, he still has his flash, so he does pop the flash to escape. Here I see if we can actually chase down the Vi, but I don't want to chase her too far because we're going to end up chasing into the cannon, which I don't really want to fight the cannon at the moment. He has his death cap completed, so he will be relatively strong, and if me and him both out together, eventually I'll get stunned and interrupted, so I don't quite want to run into the cannon and take any unnecessary risk. I'm 10-0-2. I really do not want to give shutdown to anybody on the enemy team. maybe except the Braum. Giving Braum shutdown would be good because it removes my shutdown, but giving shutdown to Cannon is really bad, Vayne is really bad, Zed is especially bad because he's the one that's carrying his team at the moment. Vi is bad, but not as bad as the other three, but of course the best is just to not give shutdown at all, so why not just stay alive if at all possible. So I am playing as safe as I can on a Samira. Now, of course, we all know that you cannot place completely safe on a Samira because if you do that, you're going to be doing 0 damage because you got to be in the middle of the enemy team to actually do damage with your ultimate. So for now, all I'm really doing is just trying to stay as safe as I can and go in only when I think I can get kills and survive. So here Wukong goes in on Vayne by himself. Vayne did hit the condemn on him if you guys noticed from the minimap, so I do know that I can ult without Vayne interrupting me, although it doesn't quite matter because we kill Vayne instantly anyways. So Infernal Dragon is up, their ADC is dead, so we do have a numbers advantage here. Zed has decided to go off on a split push journey and pretty much has ignored this dragon fight for now, at least. So here we pick up the dragon, pretty much no fuss, and we pretty much just get away with it because we got the pick on Vayne, really hard for them to contest. Braum pretty much just walks into our entire team, so as you guys can see, the Braum isn't all that good. So I'm gonna just go out on a limb here and guess that the Braum is probably the Plat or Plat equivalent on your team because he's making some questionable movement choices like that one that you see there and a couple in lane. So anyways, what we're gonna do here is, of course, we're just gonna siege this tower just a little bit. Here, Darius hits a really nice hook onto the Vayne over the wall. I extend the CC, sorry, not onto the Vayne, onto the Vi over the wall. I extend the CC and go straight in. I get the shutdown onto the Vi, 12-0 and 3 now. Of course, I know that my team isn't very good, so I'm trying to get all the kills that I can and put all the gold on myself so that I can carry my team. I'm at 12k gold now, Zed is at 10k gold, and nobody else is even remotely close to us. So really at this point, my team is kind of bad, and honestly the Zed's team is kind of bad too. Like I have a 1 and 3 Darius, I have a 0 and 2 a Wukong. They're not even feeding that bad, but it's not about the feeding, but it's just like the plays that they make are kind of really questionable. Like Wukong just going in on his own, and that sort of deal. I think if I'm not wrong, at this point, the who's that called? The Gallion, I think he's like what 3 and 7 or 2 and 7 or something like that. I'm not quite sure, but I think I remember the Gallion was the kind of worst offender. Whereas on the enemy team, the Vi is actually doing well. The Vayne is 1 and 5 and the Braum is 0 and 7. However, Vayne you will see that soon Vayne starts actually scaling and she actually starts doing well. So it kind of looks bad, but not really quite bad. And I think Cannon is like even in kills and in deaths in my if I remember correctly. So I think that I still have the worser team. Although my Seraphine is 3-1 and 12, she's doing really well. And she's gone for a more supportive build with, of course, the Black Mist Scythe. She's gone for the Rylai's to prop her stun, or not stun, her root onto her E instantly. And she also has the Seraph's Embrace for the mana. So here I'm going in with the ulti, going through the Braum, and honestly I thought I could have gotten a pentakill here. Here I actually stasis the Zed ultimate to prevent myself from dying. Here I flash forward to get the cannon. Unfortunately for me, somebody has already died, so no pentakill for me, and Zed is going to be able to escape. Maybe I should have let the cannon live and went for the other side of the fight instead, where the rest of my team were, because I think killing the Zed is way more valuable than killing the cannon. But yeah, so anyways, the Rift Trail that we picked up from before, I'm going to use it quickly to destroy the inhibitor. And the Rift Trail is already going to get the kill on the inhibitor, so I'm not wasting my time with the inhibitor. I'm clearing the minions instead and let the Rift Trail crash onto the base. Here I was actually trying to force the end of the game, but my team is kind of just trolling around, and I don't know what that guy is doing. And yeah, here I accidentally dash into the cannon ultimate range. Sometimes when you try auto attack on Samira, you end up dashing onto the range. Here I Q through to get the ults in, but here I knew that it wasn't going to go too well because I wasn't really high health enough and Zed was up, so I knew that Zed was probably going to kill me, and he did, but I was hoping that I could have done more, not damage, but I was hoping I could have survived longer there because I was so insanely hit with so much damage and so much life that I thought that there was a possibility that I could survive. But anyways, now I'm at 15k gold. Zed's at nearly 14k because he just got that huge shutdown on me, and Vayne is at about 10k. Of course, my Darius is about 10k too, but Darius is not really doing much, whereas Vayne is now coming online. So she was 1 and 5 just now, if you guys remember. Now she's 5 and 6. So she's come online already. I mean, she technically has 2 full items. Normally it takes about 3 items, but I guess in this case she's kind of come online right now. So I have my triple crit item and my armor penetration item already, and the last item I'm gonna be going for is gonna be the GA, because obviously I'm so ahead. I don't really actually need any more damage. What I need now is the survivability to actually not die, so I'm gonna go for the GA to ensure that I do get the revival in case I do die, and I am able to still, you know, contribute to the following fight. So here the mountain dragon is coming up really soon, so what I'm gonna do, I took the blue buff, now I'm gonna take the skull like so, to secure the vision for the dragon, and also warding over the wall to check for enemies nearby. I'm pinging my team to get over here. So our dragon is coming up in 15 seconds. So here I'm just waiting around basically in this bush to see if anyone face checks. Now you can see that they're all going toward the tri-bush area, and Wukong and Darius are in that area as well. So here I'm transferring myself towards this area to just stand by if anything happens. Wukong goes in with the ultimate. I'm a little bit far away to follow up. Here I try to go in, I get CC'd. So here I find the ult, I get the kill, I get stunned unfortunately, and here I stasis to block the cannon. Ultimately I'm 1 HP, but I dash over, with lifesteal a little bit, I actually get the kill onto the Vi, I get the reset, and I actually managed to half health the cannon before I die. So if you imagine if I had any more health, I would have actually turned around that 1v2 relatively easily. But unfortunately for me, that was not the case. So now Zed, it has now managed to solo kill the Galio yet again, and Zed now 8-1 and 4. He's just off split pushing, so I think this is not a bad idea in my opinion. He got the kill on Galio, he got the tier 2 turret, and if no one actually responds to him, he will actually get the tier 3. So, but Darius is kind of doing the same thing. He has also gotten the tier 2 turret, so overall it's an even trade in terms of turrets, and the dragon is actually still standing. No one has even really started the dragon. Seraphine tried to start it by herself, but she and Darius can't really do it fast enough without the Zed coming, so I think it was a really good idea for Darius to actually go for the tower instead of actually getting baited by going for the dragon and just getting it stolen by Zed. Anyways, pretty much now both teams have respawned, so now we're both going to go back to the dragon area, and probably there's going to be another fight that's going to break out. So here there is a ward in the pit, which we do remove. I ward over the wall just to see enemies coming. Braum ult goes wide, and we're pretty much just going to burst down the dragon. And I managed to get the secure onto the dragon. Really nice ult by the Seraphine, but Braum does block it though. That's a little bit unfortunate. I'm going to Q through the Braum to get the ultimate. I get stunned like multiple times. I get bursted, and I actually managed to trade the kill onto cannon again before I die. So this is sort of the issue now. Because now, although I'm really fed, it's really easy to kill me because I'm in the middle of the fight, and cannon kind of destroys me because his ult is so huge that I cannot really kind of escape it. And now Vayne and Zed do insane amounts of damage. You know, Braum and Vi can provide the CC. Cannon does insane amounts of damage now too, and he can also provide the CC. So now you can see that in these like 5v5 team fights, I'm running into a very significant problem. However, we did get 3 kills onto the enemy team for 2, and we are indeed able to end the game eventually, like right here. So in my opinion, this was a really hard carry, like 2v8, not really 1v9, but 2v8 performance from me and Seraphine, because the rest of our team wasn't really very useful, and the Zed was super duper fed. So anyways guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll leave you guys with the stats as usual, and goodbye.